I bid you welcome. I bid you good day. As we approach a new topic again, a delight for the senses, a very unique, a very timely topic, entitled Master Teachers. And why do they come to earth? An excellent question. Let us begin by defining, then, what is a master teacher. It is a term that is used here upon the earth. It is not a term that a teacher would take on. If, in fact, you were fortunate enough to meet or to have a master teacher, it is not likely that he or she, they, would introduce themselves in that way. It is not a title, you see. In essence, it is a frequency or a vibration that is earned. You would think of them as masters or masterful. They, humble, the humblest of all in their approach, would not offer themselves to you in such a way. Now, there are exceptions to this, for I tell you that humanity is not as humble as some of the teachers are. In fact, humanity has shown at times a bit of disdain, a bit of reproach for teachers. It fails to recognize a true teacher at times, and, well, it is blameless in this, for there are many false teachers that have presented themselves to humanity, and so now it looks with reproach upon those that consider themselves such or offer different teachings. And so, without a humble approach, there are times when a unique or specific teacher may ask temporarily to be addressed as master, not because one is less than the other, but because it is a term of respect. And those that place themselves on the initiatory path, on the path of the ascent, well, it is well to recognize one's master and, without reproach, and in the humblest of all ways, to address one in this way. A master teacher, then, is a term, an earth term. A master teacher upon the earth is one that literally has mastered the earth plane as you know it, and in fact many of the dimensions or planes upon the earth. There are several different dimensions and worlds upon the earth. A master teacher would have awareness of all of these. Even if the teacher chose not to dwell in the other dimensions, or even not to dwell upon the earth at all, they would still have awareness of the dimensions, how they are expressed, how they come together, where they blend, where the seams and the seamless portions are, where the doorways and windows are, where the overlaps are, where the cautions are, and how to come and go easily and safety. In essence, there are even safety corridors that you are less aware of now, but they are easily found by those that understand how worlds come together. You may think of worlds a little bit as a straight and a substrate, if you like. They are layered thinly. Thin veils separate them, but they are entirely different in their origin, and so master teachers would know this. They would have mastered this. So a master teacher, for the most part, again with exceptions, for the most part, are those that understand all about the earth and how the earth is organized, how it is structured, its purpose, what is its teaching, and in fact how humanity is ordered or layered as well. A master teacher and an ascended master are not the same. An ascended master is one who has recently, yes, recently, even if it was millions of years in recent history, an ascended master is one who has recently mastered all of the lives upon the earth and has now entered the path of service where humanity is concerned in order to lead or teach or assist humanity in its own ascension. So an ascended master is one that is more associated with the ascension process upon the earth, or what you would term the enlightenment process, and the guiding of others toward this goal, toward this movement, up the ladder, through the scales, up and through different windows or possibilities or frequencies of enlightenment. An ascended master then is one with a specific dedication to the earth, specifically to the human kingdom upon the earth plane. Wherever there are the most amount of humans, that is where the ascended master would dedicate his energy to that. A master teacher is not necessarily associated only with humanity or only with the earth plane. A master teacher then could also be considered a universal teacher, a teacher from another realm, from another dimension, what you might term an extraterrestrial teacher, one from another world, all together. Master teachers then and ascended masters are similar. They would not look at each other with a certain hierarchy. One is not better, higher than another. They are unique and distinct, one from the other. There are other types of teachers as well, such as your angels and archangels and others as well. These too are teachers, each one with their speciality, in each one associating with the earth, with humanity, and with you in a variety of different ways. For the purpose of this discussion, we will stay with all that has to do with master teachers. And of course, we will then address the idea of, angel teachers, perhaps in another discussion at another time. Now then, master teachers are those that are interested in the earth, not only in humanity, but in the earth as a whole. And so a master teacher then aligns with the earth and with the earth's movement, with all that the earth brings about. And so you are also part of that. Now you may well ask yourself at the same time, might you be a master teacher? It is a fine question, and it is worth answering. For the most part, the answer is no. However, there are parts of you, aspects of you that you may or may not be aware of that are becoming masterful or master-like. These particular parts of you have a deeper or a greater relationship with the master teachers because they are moving in that direction. Just as you already know that there are parts of you that have a more specific relationship with ascended masters. There is a relationship that was there even before you began this life. And so the master teacher then has a relationship with that part of you for the most part, and this does not apply to every being. For the sake of this discussion, we must at least generalize some of the topic so that it will be of use to most. But perhaps you can take it under your own countenance and see and note what part of you relates to other teachers, what part of your frequency has a specific resonance to where, to what, and to why, and you would begin to answer at least some of this question for yourself. Master teachers then come to the earth in order to assist. Assist is different than help. A master teacher assists a process. A process means the process of discovery or uncovering or movement, alignment. A master teacher may very well be interested in the alignment of the earth itself and humanity only as a byproduct of that. For humanity, you may think of it as well as a very great organism. Yes, you are individual thought process, an individualized soul with free will, and yet you are part of that which is a greater body, a body of knowledge, a body of discovery, a body that is part of the earth's biorhythmic energy as well. All of this is part of the earth and part of what a teacher or a teaching may be interested in. A master teacher may also be what you might think of as an archaeologist, but one that is more than interested in just the earth history, one that is interested in how the earth itself comes together, where and why, and what life form it is able to bring. This teacher, for instance, might be of assistance to you in discovering how you are organized and moving that organization, but it would not be the same as helping you to advance a little bit further, because it would be more part of the study itself, the study of how life, for instance, manifests and moves in its own way, in its own wave patterns upon the earth. So assisting you would also be assisting the teacher, and in that way the teacher then would also be assisting others who may follow or associated with that path or that project. Assume, for the sake of this discussion and others, that everything has a purpose. Everything has a reason for being, even if that reason does not seem reasonable to you. Humanity has forgotten a great deal of what it is and why it is, and therefore when it sees or recognizes a teacher, it has a way of clasping onto it and hoping for help, sometimes demanding help, and sometimes becoming quite irritated, even incensed, if it does not receive that level of assistance or help. A little bit like what you would imagine. A drowning person cannot help but cling on to one that is an expert swimmer, hoping to be saved, hoping to be carried off to the shore. And so those who think themselves failing or sinking or drowning cannot help but clasp on to those that appear to know who they are, what they are, or where they are going. Teachers know this, master teachers know this, and though they do not pity humanity for what it is, for what would be the purpose in that, they can best assist at times by remaining anonymous. To remain anonymous does not mean that the teacher will not lend a hand or a voice. In fact, it is better in the anonymity that humanity would receive the assistance. Because you see, when you receive assistance from the anonymous, there is a way in which the human then learns faster, receives an empowerment rather than help, rather than assistance. Now, an empowerment is a specific term as well. An empowerment is that which is a knowledge, a body of knowledge that is immediately given to the individual, so that the individual can, of their own accord, use that knowledge coupled with everything that they have learned or everything that they have been in other lives themselves or in other teachings, and apply this seed teaching, the entire aspect of it. That is called an empowerment. And so the teacher empowers the human, or the student in this case, to advance more quickly by purposefully choosing and remembering who they are and what they have known. And you see, this is very different than simply receiving help or assistance in a little bit of survival. And so in humanity's attempt or desire to move further along the scale of progression, it is much better to receive an empowerment. Now, can an empowerment also be given without anonymity? Yes, but it is different then. In that case, it is more considered an initiation. An initiation is not the same as a test of courage or like that. An initiation is an opportunity to demonstrate what one has learned. So if, for instance, one could assimilate an empowerment or had reached the next level of understanding, an initiation would give the aspirant, the human being, an opportunity to demonstrate what they had become or what they had learned. Now, in very human terms, this can appear to be a moment of difficulty, but it is not necessarily so. You see, those individuals that are least creative will think of something that is least creative, such as a test of courage. This is not necessarily even important. An aspirant, a human being, can, for instance, simply demonstrate their abilities by doing the same thing that the teacher does, which is to assist someone or something else, and this would almost automatically demonstrate the level of proficiency or learning. But where humanity is concerned, there is sometimes the fear of revealing oneself to a fellow human, of saying, look, this is my initiation, or I am in an internship here, and let me propose to assist you in this way. And so instead, humanity devises for itself such tests of courage in difficult situations, and thereby proposes to advance more quickly as well. So you see, there are many, many different ways of learning from teachers, and in fact, one becomes a teacher in the very process of learning from a teacher. For the purposes then of continuing our discussion, we will leave the word master by the side, and yet we will assume that when we speak of teachers in this moment, that we are speaking of this very particular category, and here and there will be distinctions made in that way. These type of teachers, then, come to the earth. They do not belong to the earth. They come to the earth from the freedom that they have to come and go. Many are interested in a certain dimension, and how that dimension manifests life then, not only upon the earth, but also upon other worlds as well. So it is interesting to note then how teachers come and go and for what purpose. You may very well ask yourself if a teacher would recognize another teacher, and the answer is yes, but not always by revealing a credential or saying from what university they have graduated or what year upon the earth they specialized in. Not like that. It is the vibration itself. There is a level of organizational peace that you would recognize. Perhaps at times you may have met an individual of great peace, or great love, or great compassion, and of course you would say, this one has learned something. Perhaps they have learned more than I have. Perhaps they are better able to love or to assimilate that love. And so yes, teachers recognize each other, accord each other a measure or a level of respect, one for the other. In the recognition there is the distinction as well, for each one would see in the other something that is complementary. They would not look at each other, for instance, and say, oh, look, we graduated from the same academy or of the same year, in the same way that you would recognize one another. No. These individuals would look to one another, and they would see a level of very unique respect given one to the other for all that has been accumulated and given and shared and accepted and discovered. It would be more like that. So it would be not a credential, not a diploma, but it would be a very particular vibration, a vibration that would be one of love or knowledge, or one that has been of discovery, or one that has been of compassion, or one that has given a very particular uniqueness at a very particular time in history, or like that. Teachers would reveal themselves to each other. There is no reason to doubt there is no reason to hide one from the other or not to reveal all of themselves. There are no protections for this. You see, there is no moment in which one carries something in secret or in a secret pocket or compartment that the other would not see. So yes, teachers indeed recognize one another regardless of where they come from. A teacher would not be an adversary to another teacher, regardless of where they come. For instance, there may be teachers that at some time may in fact have caused great harm upon the earth from your perspective or from your point of view, and the other teacher may very well look into that heart or into that essence and see that. However, always it is cordial and respectful, for it is understood that the purpose itself and where and how one has mastered their teaching, that it is all well and accorded all of the rights and privileges that are entitled to one. Would you know this about a teacher when meeting? No. It is likely that if and when you met a teacher, you would be awe-inspired by them. You would feel a simple inspiration. You would feel a devotion. Something within you would want to serve that individual, because you would know immediately that you would have something to learn from this being, and you would wish to do what you could to learn or to assist, for the vibration itself would cast a great light around you or about you, not so much as it would be a spell or like that, but you would recognize that there is a great potential to be or to become, and some part of you would know that to pass on that would be to miss a great opportunity, and you would not wish to do that. Master teachers then come to earth for a variety of different reasons. Some of these are to observe, and some indeed are to assist humanity, to assist all of humanity, for it is well known in many and different places that this particular juncture of the earth at this time, this particular corner as it would be, is a difficult place to be. Yes, it is well to say it now. It is difficult to be upon the earth. It is difficult to be upon the third-dimensional earth, for it is in fact a school of hardship, if you like, a school of suffering, or a school of surmounting suffering, or moving beyond it. It is in fact a great initiation. It is the third dimension which yields to more than that, or it is the third dimension that, when one is not careful, will pull one a little bit further down rather than a little bit further up. And so there are indeed teachers that are here to assist that process, assist humanity in remembering who and what you are and why you are. Now, take a moment to remember that you are only dressed as a human. You are not truly a human being. That is simply the fibers, the filaments of light that you have dressed yourself in. The density of light, or the body that you have created, or the purpose that you have, or anything about you and this life are to be considered an illusion. It is real to you now. It is a temporary reality. It is a role that you play. This particular corridor of the earth is a stage that has been set just for you. It is a university of higher learning by lower vibration. That is how it is best put. The lower the vibration upon the earth, the higher the opportunity for learning. And that is why so many souls come to the earth. But it is well understood that the vibration being a low one then makes for an absent moment, makes for a difficulty in remembering or restoring who and how you are. And that is another reason why there are, in fact, specific teachers that do come to the earth. And at times you have also lent yourself this way. Now, you must also know then that any teacher, any master teacher, appears as a master to you. but of course they are students in their own capacity, a student into the next aspect or their next movement, just as you are teacher to others. As you become adult, you will be teacher to the younger ones, and to the children, and to the adolescents. And so, in the same way, those that you would consider master teachers are but students in another realm. And this is why they also do not allow themselves to be called master teachers, for they know that this would be folly. They know that they are no more than students, and simply happen to remember a little bit more than you do, for the veils are a little bit thicker where you are concerned. So a teacher, a master teacher, is one that has removed these blinders, removed these veils, removed any necessity from carrying them any longer. There is no danger of falling in frequency. There is no danger any longer of being less than one is, and so there is no need for the illusion. There is no need for the illusion of light or dark. There is the resplendent, then, iridescence of light, and this resplendent, then, is what you see. You feel it, you see it, you know it, you acknowledge it. And in this way, then, in this full capacity, that is how you see them and how you would recognize them as master teachers. Now, again, will you recognize every teacher, even if this one were to present themselves to you? No, not always. Sometimes you would. Sometimes they may appear to you as historical beings in order to gain your attention, not in order to be popularized in your time. In fact, many different teachers may disguise themselves as the same historical figure. Perhaps I am giving away one of their secrets, but just the same it will be said. Imagine that. Imagine that different teachers would costume themselves as someone out of your history in order to make a point, in order to assist you in moving into or out of something. You see, they have already then moved through all of the historical perspectives, and so to masquerade as one or another temporarily, if it be to your benefit, well, it is a small charade, you see, and it is not meant to disrespect your history. In fact, better to enhance it, for the characters of your history are no more than conglomerates, if you like, archetypes of others that have come and gone and made for themselves these teachers. So your historical teachers, for the most part, were not one and the same being. History has replayed itself more than once. Your stories, your historical fictions, your allegorical histories have replayed themselves not only once, but more than once to your benefit, until the story itself was made clear to you, until the metaphors were set. And, of course, unfortunately, where humanity is concerned, some of these were set in stone rather than set in light. And so the same teachers now may reprise their roles in order to bring to you a new or a different approach or a different teaching. But these must be timed accordingly as well. It would not do for one teacher to appear in one particular year and the next one with a very different teaching in the next year. So all of this is a coordinated effort where humanity is concerned as well. It is important to note that the teachers are not here to dupe you. They are not here to trick you into believing one part of your history or another. No, not at all. In fact, they are here to bring light, to enlighten. They are enlightened teachers, and they are here to assist you and to enlighten you into seeing not their light, but your own. Not their iridescence, but your own quality of light, so that you too then will move along a certain path or an arena, should it be your choice to do so. Teachers and leaders are also not the same. A teacher is not necessarily here to lead you out of ignorance or blindness in any particular direction. They are not necessarily way showers. They are simply, as the name implies, teachers, simple beings, a simple light. They carry an orientation, and it is for you to discover whether that orientation is useful to you or not. Master teachers, then, are just that. They are here to assist the earth at particular junctures. They are associated with time and space, with discovery. They move into and out of shadow and light in order to bring to you your own light, not their light, in order to reflect to you your own light. Master teachers are always upon the earth or near the earth, always. So there is never a time when the earth is without teachers or teachings, and these are varied and variable. The teachers then move into and out of the light, into and out of the spectrum, according to the very vibration of the earth itself. The vibration, the chemistry of the earth will attract some teachers and not others, and every particular age has its own variable, has its own invitation in that way. As you might imagine, the closing of an age and the beginning of the next age brings many, many different teachers, many, many different possibilities. For at the opening and closing of an age, there are many different vibrations from which to choose, a variety of different directions that you can move into and through. And so the variety of teachers also then increases with that specific purpose, and the variety of teachers from the different worlds as well. In particular, the different worlds that humanity has come from, because your essence, your soul essence, comes from a variety of different locations as well. Different stars and star systems, different worlds and planets and grids. And though you may have all dressed yourselves in a human form, you are not all very human at all. And it is rather humorous to the teachers that while you search the skies or search each other for what is an extraterrestrial, wondering when they will come and where they will come from and who will announce their presence, that they, as you, masquerade and walk among you daily, and in fact are you as well. What is an extraterrestrial then? What is an extraterrestrial if one that simply has an origin of another star, of another world? Is your origin then of the earth? It is not. You are visitors to the earth, and almost all are visitors of the earth. Though there are in particular some beings, earth humans, there are some earth humans that have been with the earth for a much longer time than others, a particular distinction, just as there are those that are on other worlds and have been there for a particular length of time as well. Now, in order to answer some of your questions and to delve into the topic more deeply, let us continue to explore then. The question has been put, is it true that some of the teachers upon the earth are Pleiadian in origin? Is it true that some of these Pleiadian teachers of long ago in fact were master geneticists? Did they in fact mix or blend or put their DNA, their more advanced DNA, and blend that with your own for a specific purpose? Is this so? Yes, it is so to a certain extent, but much of the stories that you have been told of why this would have come together is not exactly as you might imagine it either. Imagine it this way. What if one of the cetaceans, the whales or the dolphins that you feel so very close to, what if you knew without a doubt that these were about to be extinct, what would you not do to save them, to keep them from extinction? Their beauty, their intelligence, their wisdom, what would you not do for them? And so when the Pleiadians then became aware of humanity at a very particular and interesting juncture upon the earth, they also knew that there was a very good, a very strong possibility that humanity would not survive in its present state. In essence, you were an endangered species from the very beginning. From the very, very beginning, you were already endangered. And so, in their own way and for their own purposes, and yes, not as perfectly as it could have been done, and yes, with an agenda on the side as well, and with benefit to more than one, yes, there was created a very particular formula by which humanity could survive, and this created certain mutations, certain alchemical and different mutations that made a difference between the earth human and then a half-breed, if you like, or a breeded or a genetically mutated human. But I tell you for the most part that this was of benefit to humanity. There was no true loss here, not compared to what would have been. And so these, in essence, saved humanity. They did not save you from any particular fate, for you were not in the human bodies at the time. Not truly, but you were aware of it. You were aware of the earth. And so, yes, the story, humanity's story, has changed at a few different times. What you call your creation story, it is, yes, different and much different than what you imagine it to be, just as your history is somewhat different. Why can you not know all of your history, all of it, in all of its accurate glory, once and for all? Well, in essence, the story is different at different times. Literally, it is completely different. So it is not that one is false and one is true. It is that the earth exists in a variety of alignments, in a variety of different time periods that did not take place in sequential essence. In other words, it was not one year after another, one era in succession to the other. In fact, some of these took place in multiple dimensions in multiple times, all of the stories concurrently blending or being experimented with which of the possibilities would bring about the best or the highest outcome. And so it is difficult to describe to a linear mind something that is not linear. It is difficult to describe to eyes that insist on seeing what is in the physical, that some took place and not in the physical realm at all. It would seem to you impossible, out of the realm of possibility. You would not believe it. Look now, as you see images in the sky, and it is well that they come from other worlds. You do not wish to believe it because it has not been properly introduced to you in a sequence that you know or understand or are comfortable with. So your creation stories, then, are in some ways not necessarily manipulations. They are indeed simply moments. They are excursions in time of which you have been a part of as well. Now, the question as well then, are some of these stories or teachings, are they revealed in some of the ancient sites upon the earth? Well, yes, to some extent, yes. But again, as long as you continue to examine these and to time them or to reveal when they were created or by what civilization, you will miss some of the story. And it is for certain that you will miss the teachers as well, because the teachers are hidden here. The teachers are hidden in the story. They did not come here to reveal themselves or even to tell a story. They came to assist. That is the word that you must remember: to blend, to assist, to discover, to uplift. So the teachers themselves do not need nor want to be named. They are not here to have their names inscribed in your books or on your monuments. For the most part, the monuments are left over from other civilizations that no longer needed these. The monuments, once they were discovered, is what is left over before the Enlightenment came, and not after. So they are guideposts, if you like. They are indeed what is left over from the very great ages. But yes, you can find within the signs and the symbols the teachers that were here, and you can find what it is that they taught. But you must read not in the lines, but between the lines, between the symbols. If you see what is missing in that monument, what is not there, what is void space, you will learn much more than what was inscribed there or left there. Now there are other clues and other specific messages that are indeed placed here for your wellness or your well-being. There are symbols placed upon the earth that keep the earth strong, that keep it vital. Not only are the resources of the planet its minerals, not only is it trees and flowers and food, no, for the earth there are also certain symbols that are as food for the soul, or they uphold the architecture of the earth itself. The symbols are food for the earth, and they are food for the human soul, meaning that when the soul imagines these, or uplifts them, or inscribes them, memorizes them, sees them, or in some way heralds them, the longevity of humanity continues. It is in essence like a guarantee that humanity will not become extinct, and that there are teachers that come and go and offer themselves. The question is well asked, of those master geneticists, of those Pleiadians that so long ago were here, will they return? Well, yes, they will return, but not for the same purpose, not simply to check on their handiwork, not simply to visit with you. When there is a purpose again, when there is a great purpose, they will return, for they are part of the family of man. They have, after all, lent themselves to you. They have given a part of themselves to the earth and a part of themselves for humanity, just as you may donate a particular vital organ to another and are always in some way tied to that. Well, they in all ways are tied to the earth, at least for a very long time, but out of their choosing, I tell you as well. They are not stuck with you, as has been said. They did not violate the laws so that they are stuck with you forevermore. They gave you life, and they are here then to assist in that continued life essence and life-giving, just as you could or would or have done the same. Master teachers then are not limited to these worlds or to the known worlds. There are many that are here from times, from places, and from planets that you have not even heard of. They are not part of any story that you have heard whatsoever, and they are very little interested, it may surprise you, in anything to do with your 2012 phenomena. That is a phenomena of humanity, I tell you, and while it is of interest to others that will come here, and while there are indeed anomalies that take place elsewhere in the solar system and the galaxy related to this particular age, the year 2012, well, it is that year upon the earth. It is that year in your numbering system, in your measurement, in your count. It is that year. It is approaching the year 2012 by your count, and so there is a respect for that. There is a respect for your language, for your symbols, for your count, for your future, for your past. But it is part of your story again. It is part of your creation or recreation story. It is part of your ignition, part of what will reignite life or change it or cause you to see yourselves as different. But it is specific to the earth. It is specific to humanity. And while your teachers acknowledge this, speak of this, relate it to you, it is because there is advantage in it. It is not particularly because the phenomena 2012, 2012, it is again an earth-based phenomena, in the same way as you were to celebrate certain holidays upon the earth, and these holidays would make absolutely no sense upon another world. And so the phenomena then is acknowledged by your teachers, and you receive guidance and assistance and all manner of description associated with this, just as we, Gaia, and you and I have touched upon this topic and will continue to do so, because in fact there are anomalies associated with this upon the earth. But it is also because humanity itself has chosen this time, this year, this window, in order to collectively move into the next window. And so you call the teachers to you and say, assist us with that. And so yes, there are more teachers near and upon the earth at this time than at other times, because you, in your own resource, consciously and unconsciously, have called them to you. As we have said earlier, teachers and leaders are not necessarily the same. Though a teacher can lead, it is not their only purpose. Their purpose many times is to awaken so that you will lead, not to lead you, but to awaken your own leadership abilities and capabilities. So a gentle teacher will nudge you in that area. Now, do the teachers work more specifically with those that are considered governors or leaders in the world? No, not necessarily. It would seem so, but it is not so. There is not more or less interest in one type of being than another. The teachers are not more interested in those with positions of power than in others. They are in fact more interested simply in those who wish to see, or know, or learn, or discover, or advance. They are interested in those who are willing to look both within and without in order to effect change on evolution. Whether or not this has to do with one who is in public service or not is little relevant to the master teachers. Now, each planet does in fact have a specific purpose. The purpose of the earth, then, is to teach through love and compassion, or its lack. It is to reflect that which is perfect through that which is imperfect, that which is the highest realm through that which appears to be the lowest. It is to bring about enlightenment even out of something as difficult as suffering. And it is for that reason that humanity appears to draw to itself difficult strategies by which it must emerge from one challenge or another that appears to be suffering. Teachers, master teachers, do not see your suffering. It is not that they look upon you with pity, where you say, if they see us suffering, why don't they help us? It is not that way. They do not see you suffering. They see the choice of the soul, which is unlimited, infinite, eternal. They see the choices that you have made both before this life, during the life, and after the life. None of it which appears to be suffering, except to perhaps the part of you that only thinks of it as self, as human. And so this part receives love and compassion for only seeing itself in this capacity and not more than that. So here is the answer to a very vital question that is asked again and again. If they see us suffering, why don't they help us? Why do we pray for assistance and do not receive it? Well, in essence, it is the human part of you that prays, and it is the human part of you that receives guidance or answers to the human prayers. But you see, imagine that while a human part of you is praying for assistance or to be let from a certain difficulty, the part of you that is the soul's essence is saying, "No, I can do this myself. Thank you very much. Thank you for watching over me. Thank you for your presence. Thank you for the brilliant light that I see nearby. I am so happy that it is just there in case I need it. But I think I've got it. I've just about got it." So you see, sometimes the presence of a teacher, the mere presence of the teacher or the teaching, the light itself, even nearby, is enough to give you the strength or the impetus to remember and to draw to yourself such wisdom as is already there. That is why we say again that a master teacher is not necessarily a helper. They are not here to simply alleviate a moment that you have already mastered on their own. You are here as well to master this earth, this plane, this life, and it would not do for you to think that the only way that you could do it is if you have assistance from another. That would not be mastering the life at all. So you see, you are indeed fully capable, able to see, to do, to become, and to see about you the same light. In that respect, we answer the question that was put earlier. Is some part of you, some aspect of you also a master teacher? Yes, some part of you is, but not the part of you that remembers now in this moment. Only a small part of you, and that acknowledgement exists in every moment. Now, assuming that you do wish assistance from a teacher, how would you go about drawing that to yourself? Might you simply call out for this assistance? Is it with meditation or prayer? Is it through suffering? Is it through demanding? How would you in fact draw to yourself assistance? Well, again, for the most part, it is by being what you are. It is by acknowledging where you are and how you are that assistance is nearby. So it is not that you must call out for an assistance, and yet at the same time it would be better not to deny it, not to push it away. If you are certain that only one particular historical figure is the only one that can bring you salvation, then unless that particular story presents itself in just the right way, it is not likely that you would recognize your own light. So the very best way then to draw to you assistance is to note that it is assistance, not help. It is show me how to do it, not do it for me. It is to recognize that you are also walking in a very brilliant light, not in the shadow. So in essence, the more that you acknowledge that you do not need help, the more that you will receive help. A little bit of an anomaly here. The more that you are desperate for help, clinging to it in the same way that the drowning man, as we have said earlier, it is difficult to assist a drowning man because they are flailing about so much that they cannot in essence see where the assistance comes from, or in fact that there is no drowning, for they are sitting in a bathtub, as it would be. And this is how your master teachers see you, sitting with assistance and light all within you and all about you, but forgetting that in the process. So in a moment of calm, in a moment of vision, even when you cannot see, it is to trust that light that surrounds you and say, I cannot see it all now, but I draw to myself that wisdom that is my own to ask for. Now in this way, the teachers will reflect to you your own light, not theirs, your own light reflected to you. A little bit like you flailing in the dark and then someone saying, here is your light switch. Let's simply turn it on. So that is the very best way to receive assistance in turning on your own light, in raising your own vibration, in seeing just a little bit further, in having light reflected back to you, your own reflection back to you. And yes, one of the ways to do this is to reach from the heart rather than the mind, because the heart is a little bit more deeply connected to the soul. It has a little bit more remembrance, a different kind of remembrance than what the mind has. The mind is more interested in the story that it has told itself, in the role that it is playing. The heart plays a lesser role, meaning that it does not dress itself in as many different layers. It is easier for the heart to do what it does best, which is to love, without thinking about what love means, or how to share it, or if that love is being returned. Another question being put forth then: does a teacher need to lower their own energy in order to interact with humans in the third dimension? Yes, to a certain degree, yes. Now it will depend upon the level of activity as well. It will depend upon what the vibration is, or what it is that the human will want. If your desire is to see, to physically see a teacher, then yes, in order to make themselves visible in your visible spectrum, in a limited light capacity, they must manifest a certain light that is equal or at least similar to your own light, which in its own way is more dense. This does not mean that they become less in that moment, or that their frequency becomes less. It is only that they dress themselves in a thicker form of light, a little bit like you would feel if you would put on several overcoats and you were to feel very, very dense. Well, that is how you would manifest if you needed to appear that way. It is not the favored choice. Remember, again, as we have said earlier, best it always is to assist in the highest form, in the highest light. And so to make oneself dense enough to interact with others is not in the highest form or the highest light, though it can be. It can be. Is there any harm in this? No, there is no harm in this. You may dress yourself in how you like, in any costume of any time period, and there is no harm in this. So there would be any harm cast to any teacher as well. Now, the third dimension does appear to others to be a little bit sticky from time to time, but other than that, there is no harm at all. In order to then find a teacher, to link with a teacher, it is simply to recognize that there is value in this, that there is value in the next step, and that you are willing to take the next step, and this will draw to you not always the teacher, but the teaching itself. It is important to note that the teaching is where the value is, and the teacher is simply the representative. You see, that is simply the value, and it is best to bring it about in this way. Now, as far as the earth is concerned, how many teachers are upon the earth? Oh, countless, truly countless, and also countless because they come and go, increasing and decreasing. Imagine that a true master teacher could, in fact, if they chose to, divide themselves into many. One great being, if they chose to, could manifest several different bodies of light for a specific purpose. Yes, in different geographies, in different locations, in different languages, and for different purpose. So how would you number the teachers then? By the greatest being? By the one beam of light? Or by the full spectrum of light in all of the different displays? And so the number of teachers upon the earth are as many as the grains of sand of the earth, or stars in the sky, or human beings as well. Yes, there are that many teachers. Are they all master teachers? Well, yes, to a certain degree, yes, yes. And With the advent, then, of the next and the new age, will the numbers increase or decrease? I tell you that they will stay relatively the same. The question is put as well, then, can anyone, can everyone communicate with a master teacher if there be a desire in that? Yes, yes, again because it is the teaching that is more important and not the teacher. The teacher and the teaching are one as far as they are concerned. They are not necessarily one as far as you are concerned. There are no requirements in order to avail yourself of a teaching. It is only the desire is enough. But what is the desire? The desire for what? The desire to be, to know, to discover, to advance, to put forth, to query, to answer. The desire to be the initiate, to see beyond, to allow. And yes, in order to call this to yourself, at times it is calling to yourself as well the next teaching, the next initiation. And for this reason, not all will do so. Not all will call to themselves a challenging moment or situation. The brave ones, the courageous ones, and perhaps you will number yourself among these as well. The last question as it is put then, of all of the teachers that are upon the earth, it seems that there be more now. It seems that there are master teachers and ascended masters and angels and archangels and all the others that would speak through human beings. Yes, the channeling process. Yes, to bring through the higher frequencies in this era, in the golden era, in the new age. Are there, in fact, more of these teachers channeling, speaking through other beings now than at other time? And is this related to the shift in energies of the earth? Well, yes, but only in a manner of speaking. You see, as this age then progresses, humanity progresses as well. As each one is more able to communicate in different languages, well, yes, it stands to reasonableness, if you like, that one of the languages of communication is simply what you would term channeling or mediumship or any other. It is simply another form of language. It is a form of adjusting one's frequency so that a teacher or a teaching can come forward. It is no different than if all of the little ones at one point all of one sudden got up and decided to walk at 6 months old instead of at 10 or 12 or 18 months old. And so that is how it appears now. It appears that many, many more of the human kingdom then are able to walk faster, are able to see more, are able to align themselves with a higher form of light, and more quickly so. So yes, it appears that many more can receive messages and see and attune and intone these messages as well. But after a time it will seem second nature to almost everyone. Almost all of the messages will be telepathic and will not need to be relayed or interpreted by one being or another. These will be less special. What you term channels or channelers or what it will be, they are simply translators, transducers, transistors of energy. And in the times that will come, so be it. All will be able to be and do the same. It will not be much of a novelty, not be very interesting at all. In the beginning, when only some had radios or televisions, well, that was very special, and others were not as special. And then it was the same with computers. And for the most part, you associate this with your technologies, who has or who knows until it becomes second nature. But it is the same with energies. It is the same with all of the forms of energies, and you may step these up and you may step these down, always as a sense of creativity. So you see then, teachers, master teachers, they are and have always been part of the earth. You too have a part of it, a relationship with it, with them. You too have a part of you that is in fact a teacher to another, a master teacher to another, and so you are a student of life and a teacher as well. You cannot be one without the other. Better it is always to be humble, for where there is not humble, there is a teacher who is a master in the making, but not yet a master. A master in the making is one simply that has not become lighter enough in their density to know that they are a teacher and a student, a way-shower and one who learns, one who is both veiled and unveiled. And so life then is their teacher, as it always, always is. So, sweet ones, let yourself be students of life. Let yourself be masters of all things or of no things. Let you see into and through all things. Let life be your teacher, and yes, have the courage to draw to yourself initiates and initiations. Have the courage to know that you will indeed move through all of these inconveniences of this time, for they are no more than that. They are no more than inconvenient moments. Do not think of them as pass or fail, get it right or get it wrong. Do not judge others when at all possible, for you will see that a teacher does not judge. Let you have compassion for all beings, regardless of where they find themselves, what they have learned and what they have not learned yet. You will find that true teachers could not, do not judge, not for one reason or for any, no matter what, no matter what. Be as the teachers then. Be loving and kind as you interact with each other. Look to the next moment. Celebrate, if you like, the window of the 2012, but know that it is one of many, many windows, and that you may have a window of your own choosing. You may choose what date is more aligned with your own being, if you like, and you may work toward that sooner or later. You may work for the earth or with the earth, for or with a teacher or a teaching, in service or in discovery, or on any other path that you choose, for there is no exception to the many brilliant light and all of the way in which you may share it with. So be it. The topic is well covered. Until we meet again, I bid you good day.